What meetings do construction project managers run? In this video, I'm going to talk about the different meetings that you'll be a part of and that you get to master as a part of your role. So do you want to know what meetings are crucial to prepare trades? And do you want to know what meetings are crucial for you throughout the week? If so, then you've come to the right place. This is your video. Okay, so I'm super excited about this right now. First of all, I'm going to link in the description below the videos for how to run a meeting like a boss and to really create a great agenda and to run it properly. But this is the meeting system that I highly recommend. So let me draw it for you. So if you have a calendar for the week on your project site, and let's just say that this is like, 6 to 6 p.m. and that's noon, whatever. And this is Monday through Friday. Typically, the system that I like is that you'll do your team meeting on Monday, really gather people after the weekend. In either the same time or in the afternoon, you'll do what's called a strategic planning and procurement meeting. And I'll talk to you about what these do later. And what happens then is either on Monday or Tuesday, you can do the Trade Partner Weekly Tactical. That enables you on a daily basis to do the Foreman daily afternoon huddles, okay, which enables you to then do the worker huddle in the morning and then the team huddle in the morning. So what happens is you orient the workers, then you take the roadblocks to the team, you do the work plan the next day, communicate it to the workers, remove roadblocks as a team, do the day, plan the next day, communicate it to the workers, remove roadblocks as a team, do your work, plan the next day. It's basically a repeating cycle, okay? And this repeating cycle allows the job site to be stable. So let's talk about what it is specifically for a project manager on the weekly meeting cycle. By the way, if anybody's like, hey, J Money's crazy, this is too many meetings, you've got to believe me, meetings do not suck. Only sucky meetings sucks. What sucks is actually, that's a lot of sucking, I'm sorry, but what really sucks is not having alignment on the project. So meetings are the price we pay for alignment. So let's go through this. If you're a project manager, the first thing that you really want to pay attention to is the team weekly tactical or the weekly team tactical. By the way, the terminology is based off of the book Death by Meeting by Patrick Lencioni. Great book. We've adapted the terms to these meetings so that you had a guide because that was the best guide that we could find. So it's called a tactical because it's a weekly tactical meeting. Here's what you do in that meeting. In that meeting, you're gathering the team, you're going over your PTO, you're going over coverage and making sure the team is balanced, okay? That's number one. Then you will go through any of the problems on the project site and make sure that everybody evenly is helping to attack the biggest, hottest, most important items for that project to clear the road or clear the path for your trades building out in the field. So this team weekly tactical is really to make sure that the resources, the team, is balanced and healthy. So I would, like I said, I would review PTO, I would make sure we have coverage, I would make sure that the org chart and people's roles and responsibilities were absolutely 100% clear. I would make sure that any hot items were outlined for the project and that we knew exactly what we were doing from an owner's conditions of satisfaction standpoint. So 100% I would do that and make sure that everybody was balanced and ready to go for the next week. That is number one. So in that meeting, you can talk about schedule, quality, customer satisfaction, anything else you want, but make sure you have a balance here. Then another meeting that you will run and be a part of is called the Strategic Planning and Procurement Meeting. That's where you're going to look at your overall macro level TAC plan and your procurement log or your procurement system. And you're going to make sure that your overall project is doing well, that your current data date is accurate, the materials are coming properly in the next 120 days, that you're meeting production, that you still have plenty of buffers, and that your overall schedule is accurate. And that your procurement log is on track and on target to bring materials out according to that plan. That is key. So that's called your strategic planning and procurement meeting. Now, like I said before, then your superintendent will go to the Trade Partner Weekly Tactical where they do the 6-week look-ahead planning and weekly work planning. And then that is taken and used for the afternoon foreman huddles, where the foreman plan the next day, and then literally that's taken the next day to orient the workers. So that's the system. So the superintendent has the blue after the other items. Now, there are some other meetings that you're a part of on a weekly basis that we need to talk about. So I like to do the strategic planning and procurement meeting and the look ahead meeting before the OAC on the project. The OAC is the owner, architect, contractor meeting, and I know there's all kinds of different agendas for this, but the main purpose is to solve problems for the project from the owner's, architects, and contractor standpoint, and to build that team and to build trust. So I like to come into that meeting knowing who's covering, knowing what our plan is, knowing our procurement, knowing our problems, knowing our look ahead, knowing our weekly work plan, and making sure that I'm ready to go in there with solid data for the week so that I can wow the owners. The other thing that you'll have throughout the week is you might have coordination meetings. This might be BIM coordination meetings. These might be simple coordination meetings for specific scopes. And you may have meetings as a part of your trade partner preparation process, which I want to cover now. But basically, this is your weekly outline. Let me go into the trade partner preparation process. I did another video, which we can link to you in the description below, on this channel about this process. But the bottom line is, if you have a trade that's starting here, 3 weeks beforehand, you need to have what's called the pre-con meeting, where you orient the superintendent and the foreman. Before that, 2 weeks after you have an executed contract, you need to make sure you have what's called the pre-move meeting. And inside the purchasing process, you'll have a purchasing meeting where you get the right scope for the trade partner. Now, what happens after the pre-con is you have bought out the right contractor. Oh, I love this. I bought out the right contractor, told the contractor what you want, given them time to prepare, done a pre-con meeting, and now you have what's called a visual quality, and I would say board or checklist. So I'll just do CL for checklist. Now, you can be a part of it, but mainly the superintendent from there will then go do the initial inspection, the follow-up inspection, and the final inspection in the overall process. So again, the team weekly tactical strategic planning and procurement meeting, your OAC coordination meetings, and then you are in charge of purchasing, pre-mob, and pre-con. So I believe that that's about 7. There are other meetings that might be important to you, but if you really want to do a killer job, those are the crucial ones that we need to focus on. So I want you to be able to really dive in and have a good experience with these. So we're going to actually create a Canva graphic for each of these meetings with their purpose. It will become a little bit of a guide for you. But again, if you need help, come to our Super PM Bootcamp where we talk about these in detail and you become a master at it. If you run these meetings properly, it'll basically run your job. Put us in. Let's see you at that bootcamp. You're going to love it. It's a life-changing experience. I hope you've enjoyed this video. On we go.